Welcome back everyone to my Let's Play of Ogre Battle, March of the Black Queen. Orpheus and his army are here in Deneb's garden, trying to bring justice to Deneb, the ruler of this area. We've learned from some of the city folk that she was doing experiments on people, and then if that wasn't bad enough, then she started ruining the people's crops. So definitely gonna have to find out what's going on. Also, another thing, another strange rumor was that weird men with pumpkin heads were spotted in the mountains. So I assume that all this stuff is all related, and we'll find out a little bit more as we continue to liberate cities. But for now, our main goal is to just beat back these enemy forces. So it will give us a little bit of trouble in the last episode, but hopefully we'll be able to turn the tide and start making some progress. So they pushed back a lot of our units, fell back to some of the cities that we liberated, but we have a pretty good defense set up here in the mountains. So if you didn't watch the last episode, I encourage you to go back to do it, but if you're not, well, you're kind of following along. You want to have a lot of high flying, or even low flying would be okay, and mountainous units, because most of the terrain in this area is mountainous. So you want to give your units an advantage by finding in the mountains their favored terrain, and then flying units because they ain't affected by the terrain and they can easily jump around. So the enemy has a few flying units. They have 2 units that have the wild men and the cockatrices. Cockatrices, this is the first time that we've encountered them as an enemy unit. They're the upgraded griffins, and when they're in the back row, like they are in this map, they can turn one of your characters into stone. So, and while your character's a stone or a little gem, they can't perform any action. You can reverse the stone status though if you have a temperance card. You can use that and it'll turn your character back into its normal form. So we just eliminated one of these units earlier. So it was the first unit we took out in the in this episode. We took it out, and there's actually 3 of these units, so if this is the second one, it's probably the second one. We'll still have another one to fight a little bit later, but this is actually one of the weaker units, because the 2 Amazons in the front and the Knight are basically in positions that they're not very good in, so they basically all had their attacks cut in half. So the frontline Amazons will only get to attack once with their bows, and the backline Knight will only attack once with his sword. So that unit would be pretty tricky if it was the Knight in the front and the 3 Amazons in the back, because then the Knight would be the leader. Well, he has to be the leader because the Amazons can't lead a unit, and he'd be in the front, and we'd most likely eliminate the leader, and then they just keep retreating. So there's another unit set up like that, the Valkyrie Ninja unit. The Valkyrie is the leader because ninjas can't be leaders. They're actually one of the, I think the only advanced upgraded male class that can't be a leader. But yeah, the leader, the Valkyrie, is in the front row, so that's going to be another reason why we'd like to have some flying units, because most likely when we encounter that unit, and there's 3 of those units in this, in the Imperial forces here, we'll most likely eliminate the Valkyrie, and then those ninjas will try to retreat back to the enemy base, but they'll be hampered because they're plains units. They'll be hampered by the rough mountainous terrain, and we'll be able to sneak behind them, and we'll move faster than them to cut off their retreat with a flying unit. So let's keep the pressure on this Knight unit here. We have another wizard unit sneaking over, but we have a lot of units stationed by the cities that we have already liberated, so I'm not worried about them falling. So I'm going to keep our reputation high, at least for a while. Eventually, though, we will purposely tank our reputation because we actually will want to recruit Deneb. You have the option of recruiting Deneb, but you have to do certain steps. So Deneb is actually kind of like I mentioned in an earlier episode. She's kind of like a mascot character. She's in all the ogre battles, and if you do certain things in each of the different ogre battle games, ogre battle, March of the Black Queen, tactics ogre, Knights of Lotus, ogre battle 64, and then the ogre battle gate. And if you do certain things in all of them, you can recruit her. So I need learn a little bit more about her, so I'm going to try to get rid of these hellhounds there. They can actually target from the back row. So we'll put it on. Ooh, and we missed all the time. Dope. That is not good. Because I wanted to potentially hit one of those werewolves. I mean the hellhounds, and then put my tactics then on weak. Then we could concentrate our firepower on one of them, but we wouldn't be able to do that because the leader is now the weakest. Because he took damage from the worm, so... Oh, look, we got that sneaky cockatrice unit flying over there to the left, but... Well, he can sneak over there to the left. He'll probably go all the way up and then make a beeline to the east. But we'll be able to cut him off, probably. We'll have to send another unit up there to block him off, so we'll send a unit up there to that town because we haven't liberated anything on that left side over there. There's a temple and a city, so there's also a hidden city a little further south, basically in the middle of the western mountain ranges. But well, we took out this guy, so. But now we can concentrate our firepower on one of these hellhounds, and like I said, even though they're mountainous units, we'll be able to fly faster than them, so we'll be able to, should be able to keep them from reaching the enemy base. Look. So, let's see. And then Adam will probably, we'll move Adam down there after he takes care of that knight unit. I didn't want to risk having the wizard unit there continue to fighting because the enemy's AI was targeted to weak, and they would have eliminated our leader there, our wizard. If your unit's leader gets defeated in battle, just like the enemy AI units that are leaderless, it automatically just ignores all commands and returns back to your base. So it'll just slowly make its way back to base. Now you can start issuing it commands again. One of the options that you have is if you have multiple characters that can be leaders in the unit, you can switch the unit leader. So for instance, this Beastmaster unit there, if right now we have a Beastmaster leading it, but we have two Beastmasters in that unit, so if our leader got defeated, we can just do a change unit leader and change to the other Beastmaster or the cleric, and either way what would happen is then we can start issuing commands again to that unit, and move it to a temple to be revived, or buy a revive item from one of the stores. But like I said, we're going through with a deathless playthrough here just to add a little bit of challenge. So I've played this game a lot of times, so I thought, to add something different to it, I'd go through with try to do a deathless and non-healing item run. So those hellhounds are mountainous units. So they move pretty quick over those mountains. Hopefully now they'll slow down a little bit once they're on the plains, because it's not their favorite movement type. And hopefully we can catch up with them. So probably a better thing to do now that I'm looking back in hindsight. Hindsight is 20/20, unfortunately. I probably could have moved the worm in the front row to one of the sides, and that way it would be target. Because in the middle, it could only target the middle character. or choose to target the middle character, which was the unit leader. So, well, we wiped out that dragon wizard unit. There were 2 of them in this in the Imperial forces, so I think we took out both of them already. So there's 2 of those units, 2 of the cleric fairy units, 2 of the wildman cockatrice units, and then 3 units of the hellhound beast master or beastman, 3 of the Amazon knights, and 3 of the Valkyrie ninjas. So now where that skull is, the enemy skull is, they were near and where a hidden city is, so ooh, I thought we almost were gonna hit those hellhounds there. We got close. But I think this will be the second of. So that was lucky. We got lucky that normally, like, you get disappointed when your character misses defeating an enemy by 1 hit point, but it was good in this case because it allowed our cleric to heal up our wizard. So now we'll have that wizard unit retreat to where this other wizard unit is, and we can push this wizard unit out. So that way, if the wizard unit that's going out to meet that cockatrice unit loses, it can be pushed. It could be whatchamacallit. It will retreat back and can head back to the town while the other one heals. So I want to use my Hangman card here. That lowers the defense of the enemies, so that I can most likely be able to defeat these enemies. Because if I wasn't able to defeat these enemies and totally eliminate them, what would happen would be, since they would lose, they'd be pushed back further, and they'd be pushed back further closer to the base, and that way it'd be harder for us to catch them because we're just basically helping them get to their base closer. So, and match unit is now healed up, so we can send him out. I think it's kind of funny. Oh, the Dark Mountains there. If you run into a neutral encounter there, it's actually a dragon, a level 5 dragon. So we've seen some of them, the green dragons. That's what the wizard unit had in this thing. Dragons, depending on their alignment, can go into 3 different classes. If they're low alignment, they go with the black dragon route. If they're neutral alignment, they go to the red dragon route. And if they're good alignment, they go into a silver dragon route. And dragons will have like 3 upgraded forms, so it goes black dragon, then Tiamat, then zombie dragon if you use an undead ring on a Tiamat. For the red dragons, you get red dragon 1, then red dragon 2, and then a salamander. And then for the silver dragon, you get silver dragon, gold dragon, then platinum dragon. Probably the red is probably the most useful, maybe, because a lot of enemies are weak against fire, and red dragons are mountainous, and mountains tends to be a common terrain in the game. The silver, toward the end, they become a snow unit, and so they move really, really slow unless they're on snow, and then not a lot of stages have snow on them, so it really makes it hard for them to get around. The black dragons are initially plains units, but then when they get into their higher tier, they become swamp units, and swamp is probably even more rarer than snow, because at least when we get to the highlands, where the Empire is seated, they are basically snowy lands. So, but one good thing about the black dragons, they tend to make really good tanks. They basically have really good resistances, except for the resistance to white magic. So as you can see, we just had that one hit there with the gale, and it almost took out those fairies. So, but probably one more attack with this unit will take. This is another unit that's, I guess, pretty poorly constructed. leader in the front, so they're vulnerable to attacks. The fairies have no attacks. They can buff up with the cleric's attacks. But clerics, you mainly want to use them as healers, so which is how we're using it. So unfortunately, we're gonna uncover this town when we're going to fight that cleric unit, but I don't want them retreating. So we're doing pretty well, though. We should probably start making a push. Probably once we take out that cockatrice unit, that'll take out the rest of the flying units that the enemy has. So once all the enemy's flying units are taken care of, you can be a little bit more aggressive, because flying units, they're the fastest units. So if they get behind your lines, well, you're kind of messed up. You're kind of probably going to have to either use an item like the boots, which can teleport one of your units to liberated town, or you can create a new unit and then just put them on your base to block off any flying units that may have snuck behind your lines. But we're going to try to avoid that as much as possible. If you know where the enemies are, their attack pattern, you should be able to avoid that for the most part. That's why usually when I start off a new area, I mention how the enemy's movements tend to be, so that you can set your defenses up. So this is an annoying battle because those ninjas can target their attacks, but we can't really target ours. The only one who can really target is the imp with his nightmare spell, but he only has one of them in the back row. When he upgrades to demon, then he'll be able to get a second attack, nightmare attack. So let's quick turn our Adam's unit around, because right at the edge of that road there is a hidden city, and we don't want that city to be revealed, because otherwise then that will give the enemy a city they can stop and heal on. So we got a Beastmaster unit trying to chase down another Beastmaster unit. So, oh, look at that. That cockatrice unit snuck by our little wizard that we sent out there, which is not good, but luckily that's kind of an evil unit, so they may fight a lot worse in the day here. And because now we have a unit in the front and the back, we might be able to create one of those ping-pong situations where if we win this battle, we will force it to retreat, and then it'll retreat back into our wizard unit. So this is good. As long as the wizard goes first before the worm, we should target the cockatrice. And unfortunately we didn't, so we wanted to hit that cockatrice because he was at the time the weakest. But taking out the cockatrice would, like I said, prevent him from stoning any of our characters and removing them from the battle. It would also remove the high flying status of this unit, which means it'd be much easier to track down if it tried to sneak around. So let's get a little bit of healing here. So we won't get too much healing in this city, because like I said, it's about 2 hit points per second, but you might get, maybe 10 hit points or so. That ninja unit is moving pretty fast, but hopefully we can cut it off, because we'll be moving faster. And we almost have that ping-pong situation set up here, so if we defeat this unit again, it should retreat back. But now that cockatrice is really low on hit points, so even if the worm goes first before our wizards, which it most likely will, but it didn't there, we should be able to still have the cockatrice being the weakest unit. So dope. Looks like their unit is set on strong. I'm going after the strongest character. But we took out that cockatrice, woohoo. So now this is just the normal plains unit, so we don't really have to worry about it anymore. And it bounced back right into our other wizard unit, so you tried to avoid fighting this wizard unit, but haha, your sneakiness didn't work out for you. And now it doesn't matter, we can put our tactics on weak to do a little bit of extra damage because that Wildman already used his one attack for the battle. So we don't have to worry about taking any damage. We don't have to worry about having our tactics at weak. Remember, when your tactics are at weak, you deal more damage to the enemy, but you take more damage. And strong is the opposite. You'll do less damage to the enemy, but you'll take less damage. So strong is your kind of defensive attack. We got our tribute there, so let's see, hopefully we may have to use a tarot card on this guy, but we'll see. So this might be a tricky battle here. This is one we may want to take out the leader, so because if we defeat this unit and don't take out the leader, it'll retreat and it'll be pushed back. It retreats in the direction that it's moving. So this unit was actually moving closer to that one town up there, probably to go to heal. So if he would have defeated this unit without defeating the leader, it would be pushed closer to the town that it was trying to retreat to. And we'll see that right here. But now, even though it's close to that town to heal, its AI, the leaderless AI, will take over and it'll retreat back to the enemy base, and it'll retreat right back into the unit that just put a hurting on it. So, go. Would have been nice if our wizard would have slowed down there and let our cleric get some healing in, but yeah, you don't have much control over the AI, so you can't micromanage it as much as, you know, some other games. But that can make things exciting, so keep you on the edge of your toes sometimes. When you just you can't afford to maybe retreat, you're like, will my characters go first, or what's gonna happen? So I'm on the edge of my seat here. I don't think, am I ever gonna block this guy off before he reaches the city? Alright. Well, one good thing is he kind of started moving to the north west there. So one good thing about that is if he retreats, he won't retreat directly onto the castle. So alright, let's see. They're pretty weak, so but let's put it on weak anyway just to be safe. So as long as all of our characters hit, we got 4 attacks with the knights and 1 attack with the imp there, so and we got it. So yeah, if we didn't use that tarot card, probably wouldn't have been able to defeat them, but luckily we didn't have to worry. I purposely used the tower tarot card. That was a tongue twister, because that's kind of like black magic, and ninjas have good resistance to black magic, so I knew that it would probably not deal enough damage to kill them. Remember, you don't want to kill enemies with the tarot cards, because in that case the experience goes right to your leader, so it can force your leader to gain levels when you don't want them to gain levels. Now, we want to gain our levels eventually with our leader, but we'll be having Orpheus gain his levels back in the Pilgrim Forest. We'll have him fight some of those neutral ghosts, neutral skeletons. He can do that because he's a holy unit. He started out as the Ice Cloud Lord, which means he has 2 banish attacks on the front row, which are holy elemental. So, going right down here, that's where that hidden city is, Anquard. Or no, there's a hidden treasure there. So the only hidden city is the one by that road. So, but now we also got another treasure there. So we'll have Matt. I think that's pretty funny. We have a demon named Matt. So he gets some weird names here. So there's if you look on the game FAQ's message board for this game, some people, I think there's a topic with like the funniest names that you got for your characters. So, but well, yeah, the game has a set number of names that they use, so you may get the same names that I get here, so, or some similar ones. So, but one name you won't get is Pops. Pops is my little hairless rat here that I have. He's co-commentating with me right now. He's kind of quiet right now. He only makes noise when he's hungry or I'm doing something that he don't like maybe picking him up when he's trying to eat a treat or something like that, or if he's trying to get into somewhere where I don't want him to go. Gotta watch your little ratties, because they can be troublemakers. So, that one unit must have been that Valkyrie unit with the ninjas. It just disappeared because it's out of our line of sight. But it must be programmed to kind of go after that match unit there, because it's going back to where he was hanging out there for a while. So, I guess the computer is slow to pick up the memo that match unit is retreating. So, eventually though, it'll pick it up, and he will. That unit will start making a beeline toward where match unit is going. But, well, unfortunately, our little Cerberus there, or Hellhound, took a little bit of a beating. So, move it to the back row. Yeah, we get some more buried treasure. Hoping for a weapon. Mystic helmet, not really good. So, the dragon armlet is not a weapon, but I think it does. It is a piece of equipment that does raise strength. There are a few bracelets that do raise strength. There's like a power bracelet, not to be confused with the one with Zelda, but some of them raise your strength. But armor, if it raises your strength, it doesn't necessarily give you the elemental attack that a weapon would. So if you get that dragon bracelet, it might raise your strength, but it won't make it like a fire sword give you a fire attack. So alright, we're on the edge of our toes there with that a little hellhound there. It's taking quite a bit of a beating there. We might have to move it to the back row. We'll retreat back to healing. So, but let's move some of these wizard units down here. We don't have to worry now about any more of the flying units coming around and sneaking around like that cockatrice unit did. So, we'll get these wizard units back into the front row. They've had their time healing. So yeah, it's kind of an aggressive turtling. Oh, neutral encounter. We're going to encounter a pumpkin head here. See them for the first time. They have one attack, whether from the front or the back row, and basically all it does is it damages your enemy with half their hit points. So we'll eventually want to recruit one of them later on, but I just wanted to show off what it did. And usually after you attack the enemy, it's not like Pokemon where if you damage a character, it's easier to catch. And this usually seems like if you damage a character, a neutral unit, they're more likely to be like, I'm not going to join your army, you just tried to beat me up. So, let's go. Well, we got our wizard unit back in thing. So they just brought this one of those knight units again with the Amazons. I think it's the third and last one. So, one of the good things with the wizard unit here is we can actually target. So, I wonder what the best target would be. Probably the knight. Probably because it gives the most. It has probably a higher strength than the Amazon. Even though the Amazon will have 2 attacks as opposed to the knight's 1. But we'll focus on taking out the strong one. That way we can weaken out the back rows while Griffin is weakening up the front rows. So, well, we've weakened up some of the enemies, but we haven't defeated them. We'll have to finish defeating them and taking on Deneb in our next episode. Take care, have a good day. Bye!